Christa, first of all, how are you feeling today?
I'm so happy to be here that I feel pretty good.
You have such an amazing story of survival. You guys were there doing volunteer work in Haiti, you and your brother Julian, and you were about 12 miles south of Port-au-Prince when the quake happened. Explain where you were and what happened in those immediate moments after.
We were on the second story of a two-story house. I felt the first shock and thought that maybe a truck had hit the building. And then I felt the second shock and knew it was an earthquake. So all of us started to run down the stairs to leave the house because we knew that the house wouldn't stand. Julian was first down the stairs, I think, and he ran and sheltered in a doorway. I slipped while I was going down the stairs, and so the roof of the house fell down a story and a half onto my leg and crushed my right leg. But my left leg was fine. Well, crushed.
How scared were you?
Not as badly.
How scared were you? How much pain when this first happened, or was it just shock?
I was very, very scared, but my main thought was to try to not panic. I was running through all the lines they told us in our earthquake drills in elementary school.
Yeah, you guys are from Alaska, and you had to go through those earthquake drills, right?
Yeah.
Julian, how were you able to try to help her? As I understand it, you used an electrical cord. You knew that her leg was pretty badly hurt, and you used an electrical cord to act as a tourniquet. What were you trying to do in those immediate moments after you realized your sister was injured?
When I first realized she was injured, I was still worried about the building collapsing on her, so I didn't want to do very much. I did try to take the pieces that I could lift, the small pieces, and pull them off. And it was eventually by pulling pieces one by one off the top of her that we got her completely free.
And this was just the beginning of your ordeal, because after that happened, you guys eventually were able to get evacuated, but you had to spend the night outside for a full day, and then even after that, you were transported to the airport. How did you eventually get to Miami and get treated?
We took after I got free of the building, I took a motorcycle ride about 3 kilometers from where we were to the Sri Lankan military, their UN peacekeeping mission, where I spent the night and got a splint and a little bit more medical care and some cough drops and cookies, and spent most of the day there until the afternoon when a U.S. military ambulance came and brought me to the UN triage center at the airport in Port-au-Prince, where I waited for a little while and then got put on a private jet with a number of other injured survivors and brought to Miami.
And Dr. McKinney, what shape was Christa in when you were able to assess her and then ultimately decide to operate?
Surprisingly, she was in okay shape. The extremity was crushed so badly that it was actually helped her, because if it had just been partially crushed, she would have bled to death from the arteries and veins. But essentially, the arteries and veins were fused from the crush, and her brother put on a tourniquet. Although gangrene was starting to set in, so she needed an emergency amputation, which was done by my partner.
So after the emergency amputation, you have to go through another surgery today, Christa?
That's correct.
And what are you thinking right now, knowing that you lost your leg in this, but you survived something that thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of people did not?
That's the main thing, that there are so many ways in the last couple of days that I could have died that I'm not worried about my leg at all. I have one leg that's in good condition. I'm otherwise completely healthy. I knew that as long as I got fairly prompt medical care, I was going to be okay. And so I'm just thankful to be alive.